Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast that says, hey, look at that thing. I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton, who apparently forgot her own name. And with me is my other host,
Chris Mack.
The fact that I said before saying my own name, doing great.
Listen. You hear that sniffle, ladies,
Yeah,
gentlemen?
that's a loud sniffle.
One of your 50% of our show is under the weather right now.
Playing hurt today.
She's playing hurt. It's her flu game. It's her Jordan flu game. All right.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Fucking 42 points in you bitches. All right.
Wasn't he sabotaged by a pizza place?
I have no idea, but he still fucking won the game. That's all I remember, and that's what you're about to do.
Mm-hmm.
Also, y'all can't see this, but her can reminds me of this. It's 420 today. You ain't gonna know this, but that time y'all see this, it's not gonna be 420. But like, it's 420 today, and your can reminds me of this weed soda that I had that had me high for 12 hours.
Oh no!
It was. Listen, it was called Spring or a Sprig or something like that. I can't remember.
Oh.
But I drank like 75% of it, and I was like, I don't feel anything. And I was like, I gave it to the rest of my roommate, and then like 20 minutes later, my whole world collapsed.
Oh,
I was high for longer than that because I got high. I was like high for like 6 hours, fell asleep, woke up, went to class. Don't remember any of this. Got back home, fell asleep again, woke up the next day, finally sober.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a trip.
It's just sparkling lemon water that I'm drinking.
I'm telling you, I'll send you a picture of it after the show. It's intense.
Incidentally, it's my favorite brand. Spindrift, sponsor us. You're my favorite. I hate LaCroix, and this is miles better. So
yeah, fuck
give us that Spindrift money. Thanks.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, we're actually working our way through Sex and the City from start to finish. I've seen like all of it 800 bajillion times. Chris has seen some of it in passing.
Yes.
And we're in the middle, or almost in the middle of season 4. Season 4, episode 6, Baby Talk is Cheap.
Yes, this is a good episode.
This is a great one. Yeah.
Good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
As in my opinion. Not like the quality of the show was bad, but like the events of the show were bad. How do we want to start this out? Because I kind of want to get to the main thing first, but I know we got to save it for last because I'm like so pissed off. But
I just go through Samantha, Miranda, Charlotte, Carrie.
Yes, sounds good. I like that.
Okay. Samantha's is another kind of basic. She doesn't have a lot of character plot line in this.
Yeah. But it's also weird though.
But it's weird. She's wearing fake nipples that make her look like it's cold.
Yeah, they're like the what they
like pasties,
refer to like the cutlets that women would put in their bra, but instead it's just for the nipples. Mm-hmm. And apparently at this time, protruding nipples or like looking like your cold nipples is the new thing. Like guys are going crazy for it.
I feel like I vaguely remember that as like a thing. Or people pointed out about shows in the 90s and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is it like on Friends and stuff?
Yeah. Rachel was, she had it. She was like
cold
notorious
in the studio
for that.
And thin shirts and thin ladies with not a lot of coverage. So it was a thing. I don't think it's a thing anymore.
I don't know if that was a thing. I mean, I was in like high school at this time, so I don't know if I was like really looking at nipples like that. But it's definitely not a thing now. It's also, I think it's kind of almost a little bit of a turnoff to guys now when the nipples are like super protruding like that. It's like, go cover the things up, girl. What you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, we don't hate it. Like, we're not gonna.
No, of course not.
About it. We don't hate it, but like, it's not really like something that we're looking for. We're not like going,
And ladies got a strong set of nips. Let me get in there.
Nobody's checking for nips.
No. So it's funny. She lets Miranda try them on at the club, and she gets like checked out big time. And Samantha's like, "I want my nips back."
Immediately.
And then Samantha picks up a guy with him though, and it's like some psycho businessman.
Yeah, he's like she said he was or they said that he was like a PR guy for for a BP, which is hilarious at the time because this is like during the big BP oil spill.
No,
like, chaos.
Before that. This is before.
Before.
They talk about the Exxon Valdez though.
Exxon, that's it. Yeah, that's the one. That's right. Not BP. Exxon. That's for the And so he's like he's like a consultant working for them to like try to like repair their image about the shit that went down. But it's like, come on, bro.
Sorry, I'm censoring my cat's butthole on the video.
Come on, man. They were gonna put it in cats. You might as well let them see
it. Let the people see.
Listen, if he's gonna put his tail up, he wants it to be seen, all right?
Yeah, it's okay. Anyway,
which is hilarious because
it's relevant to the next story. So let's get to Samantha. So the quirk with this guy though is he does baby talk.
Bro. Yeah,
with Samantha, and it's so creepy.
But he doesn't do baby talk like like cutesy wootsy like between couples. He does it in lieu of dirty talk during intimacy, which is fucking weird, bro. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know we ain't supposed to kink shame and shit like that, but bro, what are you doing? What are you doing? Whoever, like, here's the thing, and I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna give you a little bit of a secret insight to guide thinking. The fucked up thing about it is there's a woman out there who let him do that. Like, she didn't say anything to him, she didn't stop him, and he thinks that like women everywhere like it. It's like, it's the same thing. Like, if you ever see a guy in like a stupid shirt, and you're like, why does he wear that? It's because he got laid once in that, and he thinks that that's like the ticket to get him laid, because one person, one anomaly, one girl gave him a little something while he was wearing it, and he's like,
this is the shirt that gets it.
This is the shirt. Yeah, this is my get laid shirt. Yes, every guy has what they think is a get laid shirt, and it only works like I said, it's like 1 in 100 times.
Yeah. Girls have like get a man pants or shirts or whatever, you know.
Yeah, but the difference between you guys when you do it is like yours actually does work. However, with a little bit of asterisk, because like it's not that hard to get us. physically. Yeah, mentally, you know, emotionally, that's where you guys got to work, but the physical part is pretty easy. But also, to your credit, whatever outfit you do choose that's like your go get 'em dress, it usually is a go get 'em dress.
Yeah, as I mentioned, the one I've worn before, where I've like definitely been hit on, and I was like, this dress is too powerful.
Yeah. Usually with women, it actually is it does accomplish what they want to try to accomplish, and not like us. But this guy, so yeah, he's talking like a baby, and I had, because like I was tripping. I was like, I thought he was speaking another language, because he's like this, you know, like PR guy, like this worldly, travels the world and stuff like that, works for these different companies. So, you know, I had my volume down a little low, and I thought he was like speaking to her in another language, and she was getting turned off. I'm like, damn, Samantha, I didn't know you was a snob like that. Like, he's speaking another language. And then I had to rewind it and watch it again. I was like, oh.
No, he calls it like her vagina whina.
Yeah. I thought he was speaking like Hungarian or something. He was just speaking baby. He was speaking toddler. I was like, no, bro. What are you doing? That's what I want to know, is like, I want to meet the woman that let him do that. Because clearly she was into it, right? Like, or maybe she wasn't, and maybe that's why they broke up. But like, I don't know, man. I like, because I don't feel like a guy just like starts doing that.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that's so weird. I feel like there was a girl who was like, "Ooh, talk to me like a baby," and he was like, "Okay," and then like, it's like, "Oh," because
there's a whole like it's always joked about, but it's the whole like, you know, sexy baby thing, like, but that happens, I think, more to women, where they're like, "I'm a little sexy baby." And I'm just a little but that's like a fucked up thing on dudes' parts. They're like, yeah, sexy baby, and it's like, no, not sexy baby, no, not at all, bad.
Yeah, like it, and then so you know, she goes and tells the girls like what he's been up to, and they're just like my reaction, like, what?
Yeah, why? No one's into it.
No one's into it. Like, it's not even a little bit cute. Even fucking Charlotte later, who like is talking about having kids, is still like, no. Like, no, you're a grown-ass man. Don't do that. That's like not a kink that we're into. I don't know that many women that are into. I don't know any women that are into it. And then so they're like doing it, and he starts doing it again. He's like, "Your titty witties."
So gross. Titty witties.
Oh my god! I laughed a little bit too. I laughed a little hard because there's an open mic here that's just for women. It's called Witty Titties. So it was like, it made me think of that. I was like, haha. I want to be me. But yeah, so he does that, and she's like, Samantha's had enough.
She's like shuts it down. She's like, listen, I can't do this.
Yeah, she's like, no more. You can just call them my breast, and everything will be fine. We don't have to do the baby talk anymore. And what does he do? Storms
out of that bed and slaps himself in the bathroom like a child,
like a fucking baby. He literally like pout. She even said to him, she's like, you don't need to pout. And he's like, yeah, I'm leaving.
She like talks to him through the bathroom door for a minute too, like he's a child. Like, we can talk about this like adults, and you know, and on. It's like, oh my god.
Yeah, basically, she was like, use your words. Yeah, stop throwing a tantrum and use your words. And he was like, no, I want to say titty witties.
Disgusting.
Only Samantha would read a guy like this. Like, this is actually, you know what? It kind of reversed because it was kind of Charlotte that was having
Charlotte
guys. Yeah, like that was
to find this type.
The first couple of seasons, it was always her that was having these like weirdo guys.
So weird. And then he leaves, and they joke that Samantha's nipples just attracted a big baby, which is true. I think there's a weird like psychological like
yeah, there has to be
happening there.
There is, yeah. I mean, even
something very Freudian.
Yeah, I mean, even underneath like the sexual attraction to like just women with big breasts, there still is kind of like a nurturing, knee-jerk response in the back of a person's brain to like look at that as like, because it's not just like, if you go underneath, like I said, the physicality, like when you see a woman with big breasts, it's like you think of somebody that can nurse.
Yeah.
So
I just thought of that scene in Liar Liar when he's in the elevator with the woman with the big boobs, and
Krista Schultz is her name. Actually know her. Yeah, she's from Texas. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. When he's like, I want to squeeze him, and he does all the like, mama stuff. He breaks down.
If I was a boxer, I'd bounce those things like Sugar Ray Leonard.
I was talking to somebody, I'm like, I feel like that's one of the only movies where everyone also has the bloopers memorized.
There's such memorable bloopers. I mean, how can you not? I mean, I don't understand why all of Jim Carrey's movies didn't have bloopers at the end. That's all I'm saying. Like, this guy is a comedic genius. Why wouldn't you always have that? I mean, Jackie Chan did his stunts in there, like bloopers of his stunts in every of his movies. Like, let Jim Carrey, let him rock with the bloopers.
We'll have a blooper.
Reel. Okay. Go ahead. Keep going. Go
ahead. Moving on to Miranda.
Wait, before we move on, can we just highlight that the beginning of this episode is them in a class, an African dance class full of white women. What the fuck is going on?
It's never addressed again either.
Like, it was literally one black woman in that entire class, and she wasn't the instructor. Okay, no, she wasn't. That's what had me weirded out. It was like they never showed the instructor. They just showed a bunch of white women in an African dance class, and then like one black girl kind of walked by. Like they just like threw her in and was like, just to make sure that we're not racist a little bit here.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's because they wanted to use this sort of intense drumming music throughout the soundtrack. Yeah. I was like, you can do that without doing this.
Yeah, like we get it.
It's still fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, because here's the thing too. It also was such a random occurrence. It had no effect on the rest of the episode at all.
Yeah.
Like they never talked back about it.
For Charlotte and Carrie to talk, and then Carrie, of course, shits on it, and
of course she would.
That's that, and I'm like, why were they in this class?
Yeah, it was like it was as random as Carrie doing that like weird Puerto Rican like New York accent at the fucking party.
Oh
with the gay people. It was just like what?
Her Bronx, I guess.
It was like a Bronx, Puerto Rican, Italian, Jamaican accent. It was awful.
Never again.
Awful. Embarrassing. It was really embarrassing for everybody, for us to watch, for them to do. I don't know what that was about. I just wanted to mark on that because I was like, we can't let them get away with just like random African. Like, first, I'm trying to even figure out too. Them as characters.
Mm-hmm.
At what point did one of them was like, you know what? I'm gonna try an African dance class. Like, whose idea was it? Because they never say who. They say
I feel like it's Charlotte's, and it was just her and Carrie too.
She said, I'm never going to your African dance class again. So
so this was a Charlotte idea.
Yeah,
I think Charlotte is well intentioned.
Now I'm gonna say this though. If it was Charlotte's class, it kind of makes sense because later in the episode, the vigorous sex that her and Trey were having, that might have been from that class because she was moving, bro. She was tearing it up.
Yeah. Insane. I made a note of that. Yeah. I was like,
it was very aggressive.
Tape.
I would have been scared. I'd have been like, "Are you okay? Are you
gonna break his John Thomas off?"
I'd be like, "Are you mad at me? Why are you riding me so hard? What did I do?" It was ferocious.
We'll get there. Let's race through. Pun intended on multiple levels. Miranda's story. She's training for the marathon and is in like 10-minute mile group or whatever, and meets a guy and he's cute and they hit it off, and then they go back upstairs after a date or after like a training date, and he licks her asshole. Is that right?
Correct. Here's the thing. Not against analingus. Experienced it myself. Well, not experienced it, but like done it myself. However, post run analingus. I mean, again, not here to king shame, but like, my guy, you nasty, bro. Like that's
kind of what I felt like. I was like, it's just I mean, the whole area downstairs is unclean if you think about it.
Sure, absolutely. Like you shouldn't, nobody's face or tongue should be there, period.
But
after a workout, for sure shouldn't be there. Like it wasn't like they worked out, then took a shower, and then they did it. Like they came in,
they were fresh,
sweating from the run, and he was like, "I need to be in there."
Yeah, nasty.
Like, how do you? That's a definitely kind of kinky, right? Because like I'm trying to figure out, like it doesn't already have like the most pleasant smell, and then you add sweat, the saltiness, and that of sweat, and if you know what sweat is contained of, like you would even be more remiss to like not go in there. And he was like, "Nope, I'm diving in like a hot day in pool time. Like I'm ready. I want it." Better than
I'm just sort of I don't know. I have like upset tummies all the time, and I would just be self-conscious about that area. I'm like,
so wait, now I want to know, and you don't have to answer this, but has someone attempted to do this?
No.
Okay. Because that's the thing, like
we've worked on the front, if you catch my drift, but we've never used the back entrance, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because like that's hard, man.
I have a lot of like poo problems. I don't know.
That's I feel you.
I don't want anyone back there.
Yeah, I get you. I mean, listen, you don't want to have no kind of accidents because you don't want they'd be freak out, it'd be embarrassing. I get it. Yeah. That's why I mean I don't have anything like that, but like I like we'll get to it anyway.
So she tells the this is the meat of it. Gross. She's talking about it with the girls, and Miranda admits she's weirded out. And even Samantha's kind of like, "That's not for me." And then Charlotte's like, "Trey likes it when I do it."
I mean, Trey be eating the butt. I was like, "What?"
Trey, sorry, I meant Trey. She likes it when Trey does it, I should say.
Yeah,
I had that backwards. But then she implies shortly thereafter that she has returned the favor to Trey.
Hey. She was like, "Look, I'm married, so fuck y'all. Y'all can judge me if you want to, but I'm a married girl. That's what you do for your husband. If you want his asshole ate, that's what I do."
Amazing.
I wasn't mad about that. I was like, "Look, listen. I personally wouldn't let a woman return the favor because I'm like, you don't need to be in there. That's a man butt. Like, that's you don't need no man butt in your face. But like, I respect her as a wife for returning the favor.
Yeah,
like, that's what he wants. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like wifely duties. That's why she's married. That's why she's gonna stay married.
But it's also nice that their sex life is going so well that like they're eating each other's asses.
I'm not gonna lie. When she said that, she said it with pride. I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
That's
She's like, "I have."
Trey's out here. Yeah, no, she wasn't even because usually
Trey has
kind of topics, repulse
our
Charlotte
girl
a little bit. Yeah, she usually like don't want to be involved, but it was her and Samantha who were like
switched bodies in a little Freaky Friday moment.
Because even Samantha was down, with it too. She's like, I mean, I haven't tried it, but she's like, don't knock it, it's really good. Like, it could be nice.
But she was kind of like, it's not really for me.
Sure.
And then I laughed that she's like, there's something happening with men in the ass. And truly, society has shifted to be an ass society in slowly over time in these past 20 odd years since the show.
Yeah. I mean, this time I don't know if eating ass was on the regular, but definitely in this time frame. Yeah. I mean, it's like in the songs, it's in like every show they talk about it in some way. Like anilingus is out there. People are doing it. I'm not mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Do what you gotta do. Just make sure it's clean. Don't like come in after a run and do that. Like that's just like again, not to king shame, but that's just not sanitary.
Yeah. That's what I think what gets me is like the sanitation factor. Like,
I mean the act itself is not sanitary, but like don't add more like unsanitary things to it, like sweat or something like that. Like, come on, bro.
But it all falls apart when they're doing it again, and she's like, okay, well maybe I'll try to kind of reciprocate. She's like, do you want a massage? He's like, yeah, and he like full on presents his hiney like a.
That's what I was gonna say, because they did ask at the table, was like, are you supposed to reciprocate? And I say, as a man, no, you don't have to reciprocate.
Yeah.
If the man asks and you say no, he's gonna have to deal with it. And if that's like a make or break the relationship type thing, then take your L and move on, ladies. Like, like if you don't want to eat no ass, don't eat no ass. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, fellas. Like if you ain't down for eating ass.
Yeah, if you don't want to do something, it is totally okay to not do it. And that's and if you don't want something done to you,
Right.
So which brings us to he's presented his butt and she's kind of like
hyped it up, by the way.
Yeah, hyped it is up. Like
he didn't just like he didn't like spread his cheek a little bit. He like hyped it up. He's like, oh, you about to massage.
And then she just goes, I don't want to do that. Which was amazing. So funny.
I mean, how else do you get out of that?
Yeah.
Without just blatantly saying, I don't want to do it. Like
communication's important, and sometimes you have to be very direct.
You have to be, because dude was like, his thing, that booty was getting higher. Like he almost had it to her face, how high he was taking it. Yeah. So my man had to get it on. She had to say veto, sir. This is not it.
So they break up though.
Yes, but
it pushes her to the next mile group, which is nice.
Yeah, she does end up joining the 9 mile group. That's another thing I was gonna say too. Like, you can't just, because he didn't really ask her if he could eat her ass.
Yeah.
But you also can't just present your booty hole, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Like she said, a massage. Like I listen. Like I said, I've eaten ass before. I never referred to it as a massage. I've never referred to it as anything. So I don't know where he just thought like, oh, do you want a massage means, do you want to lick my butt? Or do you want me to lick your butt? I don't know where he got that.
Yeah, massage doesn't mean.
Yeah, I've never heard
lick my booty hole.
I've never heard anyone that's into anilingus refer to that as a massage.
Mm-hmm.
Now I've heard massage being sex as a man, because we've all tried to rub the shoulders and move down to the back and then try to get things going, but never anilingus. That's my guy.
Nope.
What's going on in that 10 mile group? 10-minute mile group,
Nope, it's a no for me, dog.
I'm not mad at you. And to anybody that's out there that's into it, we ain't king shaming. We're just saying, it's not for everybody.
To each their own, truly.
You know what I'm saying? Just like feet ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? I happen to think feet are gross, but I don't. But the people who love them,
I don't get the feet thing. Just don't get it. But
I think it's.
I've seen the Quentin Tarantino movies, and I still don't get it.
Okay. Here's what I think it is personally.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know about just the liking of feet, like just the visual of them, or wanting to have feet in your mouth. I can kind of understand the sex with the feet, because when you curl your feet back, it kind of gets a little ribbed, and then if you're putting ribbed feels nice on the whole thing, so I could get that.
Okay.
Right, but just the look of feet and being turned on by just how just feet in general, I don't understand.
Yeah. Oh well.
That's a no for me, dog, on the feet. For sure. Feet go on the ground and that's it. Nowhere else.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So on to our little certified freak, Charlotte.
Certified freak. 7 days a week. Make that pull-out game weak.
And it's gonna be weak because they're trying to have a baby.
Yes. They're redoing their apartment, and they just, they meet up in the study and they're like, what should we do? And then they both kind of say it could be a baby's room.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually that's not just location wise, like with the study being between like the living room and their bedroom, it's actually not a bad idea.
Yeah,
if you think about it, because like you can get to the baby quickly if it's crying and stuff like that, and then like the baby won't feel alone because you're like right there sleeping next to it. So
no,
not a terrible idea
for an apartment. It's a good spot for for
I didn't hate the idea.
So then they're out shopping, and Charlotte looks at baby clothes and is all excited, and Carrie and Samantha like aren't super supportive, but they're just not into kids, so they kind of don't get the excitement. But Carrie is also a little concerned because she and Trey just got back together.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say too. Because like, I mean, at this point, how long are we saying we thinking that they've been married? Like a year at best, or less? Still less than a year, right?
Still less than a year, because Carrie says about the Aidan stuff, which we'll get to, is it's been 6 months since they broke up, and they broke up at Charlotte's wedding. And then I think maybe Charlotte and Trey were together for, let's say, like maybe 2 months, and then maybe apart 2 months, and now they may be back together 2 months.
Yeah.
Guesstimating here in a big way. The timeline's pretty fluid, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
But
so we're talking like 6 to 8 months into the relationship.
Mm-hmm. Or with the break in
between, but still, it's like, when they were talking about like having a kid, I mean, because like they said they could turn it into the study into a baby room, I was like, okay, cool, they're gonna, but like I didn't know they're gonna immediately jump to like, oh, we're gonna try for a kid, like right now. That's where I was just like, whoa.
Yeah. Well, they've technically been trying all over town before they got here, so.
Well, they were going half on a baby. They weren't going full on. You know what I'm saying? Also, from what I remember in marriage research, having a baby first year in is terrible for a marriage.
Oh, that makes sense to me, but I did not. I have not read that, but
it's a really high percentage that you would get divorced if you have a baby like within the first year of marriage.
It's a lot of straight. I bet it also depends on like if you live together before marriage and stuff.
Sure.
Because if marriage is getting to know the person you're living together and building a life together, it would definitely be harder to build a new life together and then add a baby on top of it when you maybe still aren't fully used to each other if you haven't been living together the whole time, or most of the time that you've been dating. I know people have said, oh, there's studies that say it's bad to live with someone before you get married. I'm like, fuck that shit. You gotta know the quirks and the ins and outs and the and the deal breakers and where your shit stands way before you ever
get a ring. I agree with that 100%. I actually had an ex-girlfriend of mine. Her dad was one of those people that was like, because I was like, it's like when we were still dating. Mm-hmm. We were probably like a year in, and I was like, when I get back from the Marines, we're gonna like live together for like a year and then maybe get married after that. He was like, get married. He's like, live together for a year and then get married. He's like, you don't need to live together for a year to get married. Just get married and then live together that way. I was like, I don't like where your head's at, sir.
I don't like where his head's at all. I'm sorry if you're frankly, you're coming back from a really intense situation. You're gonna go ahead and get married right away on top of that. Like, how about you let that
6 months?
Let that shit marinate for a bit. See how everybody's doing.
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, well, if you guys can be together for a year, you don't need to live together for a year before you get married. I was like,
what an old school approach.
Yeah. It's like that way it worked for you back in the day, but it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But while they're out shopping, and Charlotte's a little like, I'm the oldest woman I know who doesn't have a baby, and they kind of side eye her, And she's like, well, the oldest one who wants one. And I was like, I don't know why they gave her the side eye for that. I'm like, neither of you bitches want a baby. And you know
right.
It. So
she was like, I see the only one that's married. I mean,
yeah.
What's one?
And then they kind of like soften.
Yeah.
And then she bumps into a friend of hers who's 34 with 3 kids.
Too many kids for that age. Jesus Christ. That's
no,
way
thank
too
you.
many. Way too
no,
many
thank
kids.
you.
And they're all of like a decent age. So that means like they started early. Like she was like pregnant within her like early to mid 20s before they got.
Because that little girl is at
least like
maybe
10.
10.
Yeah, 10.
And Charlotte so like loves her because she's like this polite little girl.
Yeah.
He's like, pleasure to meet you. And Charlotte's like, I want one just like it. And then the waspy mom is like, can you believe I have 3 kids and I'm 34? And I was like, oh my God.
Which upset Charlotte a little bit. She was like, oh, I don't have
Yeah, poor Charlotte. But then she goes home and bangs the shit out of Trey.
Yo, that was some like that was more aggressive than just you would see in porn. She was riding the shit out of Trey. Like he was just like, alrighty.
Yeah. She's like, we're gonna have the so-and-sos over for dinner and they're gonna bring their kids and we're gonna like have a good time. And he's like, already? Because she is just
by the way
riding that thing. Surfboard indeed.
Dude. Also, that fucking scene brought back a little flashback because when I was a kid, I used to live with 2 couples, and one of the couples, when they would have sex, would just have a regular conversation while they're having sex, like not dirty talk. They would just be like, "How's your day? Oh yeah, oh that was great. Yeah,
you need to get milk later."
Like they were having like like a regular ass conversation, like Charlotte and Trey were having during sex, and I'm just like, what? Like every now and then you hear like a moan or like a kiss, so you know like they were having sex. But like if you didn't hear any of those sounds, you just think they were just in the back in the room just chatting away.
Weird.
That's
so bizarre.
Again, I hear the kick shame, but like that's bizarre, my guy. Not gonna
lie. So then they have the dinner, and the kids are like melting down. One of the little boys is like a total brat, and and the couple's having like those passive aggressive fights in front of them.
Oh yeah, because the little boy was wearing like the red fucking Dorothy from
and she's like, not everyone's gonna be good at sports, and he's like, you have to talk to me like I'm a child. And then like they say something about the meal, and he's like, so she never cooks at home, and she's like, maybe because we have 3 children. And just that like intense like not even simmering under the surface, on the surface, passive aggressive.
Yeah, it was super aggressive.
Yeah, and it
only would have been passive if you weren't paying attention. I feel like it was like pretty much they were airing their dirty laundry at that dinner table.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah. Also, super rude. Don't come to my fucking house having an argument. Leave that shit in the car and have it later. Like you pretend while you're here. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if he fucked another woman. You don't bring that shit to my house. Like we can talk about it one-on-one later, but like we're having a dinner. Don't bring that energy, bro. You already got badass kids. Don't bring your fucking marital energy, your bad marital energy to the table as well. Yeah. Polluting the meal with your fucking
I didn't watch the whole series, but there's a show on HBO with Oscar Isaac and Jessica Chastain where it was like, it wasn't called A Marriage Story, but it was something like that. And it was like their marriage falls apart. But there was one episode or chunk of an episode I saw where like a couple they invited over was having a huge fight, like to the point where like the dinner like broke down, and like she went upstairs with the wife, he's talking to the husband, and it just kept going and going and going. And I would have been like, they need to leave.
Yeah,
the dinner is over.
Dude. Don't fucking do that, dude. I hate that shit
so bad.
Yeah.
Oh,
I hate it when couples do that. Like you pretend, you fake the fun. Like because even then when I get in arguments with my girl, like if you go into somebody's house, we do that shit in the car. And if she says some shit or tries to try to bring it up, like, are you stop?
Yeah.
Stop it right now. Being adults, we're in public right now. We're not gonna have a personal fight in front of all these people.
No.
It's just disrespectful.
But it turns them off a little from fucking.
Dude, I'm telling you, there's no better deterrent from having kids than being around children. Like, I'm sorry. I know there's people out there with kids and you love them and shit like that. But like, for those of us who don't have them or don't want them, your kids ain't that cute. Sorry. Like, they're not that cute. They're not that lovable. Like, you love them, but like, I like kids that I can give back. Those are my favorite kind of kids, where I was like, oh, I'll play with you for like, 10 minutes, make faces at you and make you laugh, and then like you go home.
Yeah. I'm so torn because like I am getting older like Charlotte, and
sure.
I don't know if I want I would like one with a partner that like also wants one, and we're in it together.
Sure.
I don't have the crazy like I have to have a baby biological drive, especially at this age and stuff like that. I'm almost more looking for, I always joke, I'm like, it's the other half of the DNA I gotta find. Because I don't necessarily want to just have one to have one, or even like adopt to adopt. Like I just don't, that doesn't appeal to me. Like if I was with somebody and we were like, let's build a family, I'm like, that I'm in on. But I wouldn't want to just like, I gotta have a baby.
Well, I mean, I think because raising a child is such a huge life-changing responsibility. No, like the fact that we as human beings, like some people just like have kids just because they can is just insane to me. Because like, listen, I know that like women are the providers of life and they're the ones that hold children, but like not everybody's supposed to be a mother, and like not everybody's supposed to be a father. Like it's just not in the books for some people, because look, ask any therapist. There's some people out there that should never have had kids, you know what I mean? And clearly this couple is that couple that should not have, because you saw them little rug. Like the only person that is somewhat well-mannered was the older girl. Like it's like they like raised
but she's probably got so much weird pressure on her that she's gonna be in therapy in like 10 years.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. But at least like she was like at least well behaved. It's like they put in all this effort for her, and then there's like the rest of the two, there's like, fuck it, just let them be whatever. Like, first of all, because let me tell you something, you bring your kids to my house and they got their foot on my goddamn table, get out, all of you, out.
Unbelievable.
Out. Get out. I don't care how long we've been friends, get to your spawn. Get the fuck out of here. No, there's no reason a shoe should be touching my dinner table. Fuck you. Especially as nice as one as Trey and fucking Charlotte has.
Right?
I'll cut your kids' feet off. Fuck out of here. I'll get a cleaver right now. Cut that motherfucker off.
Take the steak knife and go for it. But they do, so they're kind of cold and not hooking up for the next couple days. But then Trey was so excited about the idea of wanting to have a baby that he ordered like a fancy silver Tiffany rattle, which is like the ultimate like wasp baby gear.
Oh yeah, it's the silver spoon in your mouth.
Literally. And, Charlotte has it. She's like, oh, I saw that. He's like, yeah, I was pretty excited. And they kind of are like, I don't know, do you still want to? He's like, yeah. And they have it, they talk it out and all's well. And then they're like, besides, our kids won't be like that.
Yeah, no, that's what's funny that Carrie was like, yeah, this is the lie that every parent tells each other before they have a kid. It's like, oh, our kids won't be like that. It's like, here's the thing. They may not be like that, but I do have a feeling that if they did have a child, it would be like the older one.
Yeah.
That would definitely be their kind of kid. Like Charlotte would make sure of that. And if you think about Trey's family too, like they're definitely that kind of like, a woman needs to be proper. A woman doesn't, So like if they had a little girl, she would definitely be like that. And I feel like though, because of that waspy upbringing that they both kind of have, if it's a boy, he's gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. Yep. Because they're gonna overindulge and be like, he's a boy. Boys are important and more important, special and good, and like everything they can do no wrong. And so that's how they had the little brat at the table that was like screaming and like did not respond to any discipline. Because the mom was like, Bobby, that's one. And Trey's like, how many does he get? And the husband's like, 1 million. 1 million warnings.
You're right.
Because there's in that.
That society, that part,
and that society, and still other places in particular, like just it's boys are encouraged to act out, and and people always claim, oh, it's easier to raise boys than girls because you don't have to deal with the emotional stuff. That you still do. There's still it's just it presents differently, and people just think it's harder to raise girls because you have to maybe actually like, which is problematic in itself because you're ignoring any emotional stuff from the boys,
which is also too problematic because like let's be honest, if you don't cover the emotional shit with the boys, it usually ends up in violence. I mean,
yeah, you're gonna have a little psycho on your hands.
Yeah, like I think all the mass shootings that have ever occurred have been men.
Pretty much, yeah.
And like 80% of like serial killers are men.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe like give them a hug every now and then, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe show them a little discipline. Maybe make sure that, you know.
Maybe if your kid is wearing little Dorothy shoes, just fucking let him wear the little Dorothy shoes. Who gives a shit?
Don't call him like any names or make him feel guilty about it, because then he's gonna grow up and like cut off women's feet and like have them in shoes. Like, just don't like.
Guess what? He could still be athletic and wear the Dorothy shoes. Who gives a fuck?
Let me tell you something. I've seen ballerinas dance. All right,
right?
They're fucking athletic, and I've seen women dance in heels. That's athleticism. That is athleticism. All right.
Amen.
And I've seen men do it in heels. So I seen in my art school they had a heels dancing class like after hours, after the school hours. I saw men in there. They can do it.
Yeah, all those Dancing with the Stars ballroom guys. That ain't no like wimpy move. Those guys are ripped. They're lifting people left and right, and it's a lot of physical.
Oh no, you got to be in shape to dance. I had to do dance classes in our school. Let me tell you something. I always came out that bitch sweating. You have to be in shape to dance. Yeah. So, athlete, baby.
Seriously. All right, let's get to the big hooey.
I'm gonna let you start off because I'm too emotional about it. I got to get my anger down before I get into it. You talk about it.
So Carrie is feeling alone and kind of hemming and hawing. She keeps calling Aidan's voicemail and not leaving a message. And she's still like, and she tells Charlotte in the mysterious African dance class that she's been doing that, and she's
don't call it mysterious. It was just random.
Sorry, okay. I shouldn't say mysterious.
No, because the class wasn't mysterious. It's them being there was the mystery. That's why we're trying to be.
True.
Why are you here? I want to like show me a cut scene of it. Like, I think it'd be cool to try it. Like, I just show me how this occurred. That's all I want to see. That's all. I just need a little backstory. Anyway, continue.
So Charlotte gets Carrie to admit and / kind of blabs it at the dinner or whatever that she's been calling Aidan, and Miranda's like, you might want him back, but you gotta accept that he might not want you back. And she's like, yeah, I understand that. I totally get it. It's fine. She's like an addict, crazy in this scene.
First of all, she doesn't get it because
she does not.
Carrie's that kind of person that cannot handle rejection, and the fact that he broke up with her probably sent her through the fucking roof. Like, that's probably like half, like a good 20 to 30% of why she wants him back, just for her ego to be like healed again.
Yeah. And Samantha does call out what a lot of people have noted about part of why they didn't work out apart from the cheating is that Aidan is very granola and not her type. And that is
explain that to me, what she meant by that, because I didn't get it. Because he didn't.
Granola just means like more earthy, hippie. He's so kind of country in a way. He does the physical labor.
He's a fucking carpenter.
He's a carpenter. He's he's got the dog. He had the longer hair when they met.
Right.
And Charlotte points out he wears like the turquoise jewelry and stuff, and they're like, that's gotta go. And it's like, no, that's just part of who he is.
Right.
Can't do that to people.
Also, guys do get over that at some point. Like, they don't wear turquoise unless you're Johnny Depp, then you'll wear turquoise jewelry forever.
Yeah. I can look okay. It just depends how you're doing it. And I don't inherently like hate it or anything. And then Charlotte also is like, he's gonna get rid of that tummy. And Carrie's like, oh, he did. He looked great at the bar opening, which he did. I do like the short.
Did he have a tummy?
I don't think he did.
Yeah,
which is like mean.
I'm just like, because I'm trying to think of.
He's like a tall,
like, he might have had
dude.
Yeah, like he might have had like a small little gut, but
he's not ripped like Trey, but maybe he's not sexually frustrated.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, if she's comparing him to Trey, then yes, he does have a gut.
Yeah,
compared to Trey, who's literally has a washboard stomach.
Yeah.
Also,
compared to Trey, he's a little soft, but realistically, not really.
That actor, what's his name? The guy who plays Trey,
Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan. in great shape still to this day.
He looks amazing.
I just saw that he was on an episode of How I Met Your Father, and they showed him still got it. Yeah. Still fucking ripped. And he's like what, 50 something now?
He's in his 60s, I think.
Yeah, still ripped. Still got the salt and pepper gray hair. Yeah, he's a silver fox. I still fucking abs. I was like,
he just walked in a fashion show too recently.
Wow,
looked great. Loved it.
Yeah, like it's crazy that there are men out there who are in their 50s and 60s who look better than men in their 20s and 30s. Yeah, it's insane.
Or sometimes even better than they did in their 20s, like aging like fine wine. Truly, it's ridiculous.
I don't know what they're doing. They're like drinking baby's blood or something. I don't know what's going on. I hear breast milk is a big thing in that community.
In the bodybuilding community,
bodybuilding and like to like build lean muscle and stuff like that, especially for men who are older. Like there's like a lot of nutrients in the breast milk, so they get
there is. But I was watching a health documentary about unconventional things. Yeah. And I was annoyed when they were not promoting any of this. They were kind of debunking everything, but there was one about essential oils, and it was like someone claimed that like frankincense oil cured their cancer, and I was like, fuck out of here. Right the fuck off. But there was a whole thing about the breast milk, and like there are tons of nutrients and stuff like that, but there's like breast milk shortages for babies that either the mom is unable to provide it, or they don't have a mom and they want to and it is like really good to give to babies. And like the breast milk bank or whatever was like, we really don't love that bodybuilders keep buying it in bulk from people online. We'd really love it if it was donated instead, because
that's crazy.
It's kind of a crucial thing. And these guys are just doing it for the gains, and it's kind of like, what? Now you can't control. Obviously, we can't control it. That people do what they want, because some women do it as like a side hustle.
Sure.
And sell it, and like, hey, do what you got to do, I guess, but it's still very weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't think Aiden's drinking breast milk, but he is more. Yeah.
But he is in better shape. I mean, he does like he's hitting the gym a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or doing more carpentry, I heard that can get you pretty ripped if you work hard enough.
But Carrie goes on that she's like, no, I've missed Aiden for months, and I don't know what to say if I ever got him on the phone. And Miranda's like, why don't you email him? And Carrie's like, I don't believe in email. So this is one of those.
As a person who has an online sex column.
Oh, it's not online, it's still in print at this point in time.
Okay, fair enough. I thought she moved it to online.
But still, it's ridiculous for someone in media to be this much of a Luddite and not. Yeah, you have to be a total tech person, but like for business, even she doesn't have.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, you telling me like none of your bosses or anybody that you answer to ever sent you an email, or ever been like, hey, what's your email?
Yeah. Can you imagine now being like, oh, I don't have an email?
But then you don't have a business, or you don't have a job. Like, what are you talking about? That's in this day and age.
Yeah.
You talking about you don't have emails. Like, you better be 89 years old.
Yeah.
And retired.
Shit. My old grandpa, we got him an email in like the 2000s. He wrote in all caps. It was amazing.
That's super old man vibes. Like,
so funny. Caps. I love those.
That's the only way they can read them shits. My dad fucking texts me in all caps. I'm like, cool.
Do either of your parents sign their text? My mom signs her text every time. It says "Love, Mom," XOXO, and then
my mom does
some combo of XOXO. However much she's feeling.
Yeah, she has one of those like text signatures that are like automatic with all her. Yeah, no. She's like
My mom does them fresh every time. Each not every single text, but like if we hit like the end of a run of texts and it's like signing off. Customized favorite, every time. Emojis galore. The cutest.
My absolute favorite old lady thing or old person thing that my mom loves to do is leaves me a voice message, and she starts out, "Hey Chris, it's your mom." Like caller ID ain't been out since like the mid 90s, bruh. Caller ID been around since 1995. I know who called me. Ma. I know that it's you that's calling me. You don't have to say, "Hey, it's your mom." Like, I don't know how to read. You're not calling a 4-year-old. It is me. The caller ID, it says mom when you leave the message.
The cutest. I love it. And then, but so Carrie doesn't believe in email. And Samantha's like, you got to get online, if only for the porn. And then Sean goes, by the way, you have to stop sending me that.
I know.
I died. I was like, I just love the idea of Samantha to Charlotte and to Charlotte only, constantly sending her porn.
Oh, all day, she's sending her porn all day. But I mean, here's the thing: it might be influencing her because again, if you go back to that scene, that
girl's eating ass,
girl out having her ass ate, and again, she wasn't like so scoffy at the conversation about sex, so it's helping a little bit.
But the Miranda also says Carrie can shop online, and Carrie goes, "Oh no, shopping is my cardio." Okay, so this is one of those lines that has stuck with people.
Yeah, go for
They've used it against the show. I don't think people get now that I think it was just a fucking joke, in the show, Like I don't think she literally thinks it's her cardio, I get why she wouldn't be that excited maybe by online shopping.
Sure.
I'm still like I'm hit and miss sometimes. I like to do shit.
I feel like it's definitely online shopping for women is definitely harder because like you do need to be for like certain outfits and like that. You kind of want to be in the store to try them on before you buy them.
How many batches of bras I have ordered and returned?
Oh yeah,
in the past 2 months trying to get a fresh set because my other ones are finally like wearing down. And people are like, why don't you just buy one, see if it fits, and then buy a bunch? And it's like,
that ain't how it works.
The size I need is going to be sold out. And if I like the style and I only buy the one and I go back to get more, it will be sold out in the size I need. Therefore, I have to get a whole fucking batch of the colors I want and need. Try them on, hope for the best, and either go back to the store in person or mail them back. Either or is fine. We finally got enough. I think I'm done. It only took, though, literally about 2 months.
That's what I'm saying. So online shopping.
I would give my left
for women
nut to go in and just try them on in one size and know for sure.
Right.
But even then, it was the size I was measured at the store. I ordered a bunch in that size. They were too big. The cups were wrong, and I was pissed.
See, the only thing that we run into as guys as a problem with shopping is like if we get some shit from China, because like a large is not a large in China. A large is like a fucking small here.
Yeah, stop ordering off Wish.com.
Yeah. Or but that's the other one like Shein.
Shein, yeah. I just was talking to somebody about Shein at work the other day. Yeah. And they were like, it's, you look at that shit wrong and it falls apart, but it's like so popular because it's so dirt cheap. And I'm like, no, I'm good.
Yeah, you get like 15 shirts for like $12, but like you're only gonna get like one wear out of them at best, because as soon as you take that motherfucker off and wash it, it's it's literally just crumbling apart. Like the threads are coming out after the first wash. You only get one good wear out of that bitch.
But yeah, so people got so hung up on the like shopping is my cardio, and I was like, guy, it makes me worry about everyone's media literacy nowadays. I'm like, do you not understand what a joke is and how jokes work, and that it's a little character moment and not like a literal statement of fact?
Right. How also too though, even if it wasn't a joke, like that was like it's meant to be a joke for the audience, not Carrie shops. She loves shoes.
Yeah.
And she lives in New York. So it kind of is cardio because you got to walk to the places and get on the train and you walk there and you walk through the store and you walk back home. So like walking is cardio, people.
And frankly, I get wanting to shop in person in New York more than anywhere else, because you can walk places and go places and see the things in person and try them on. Yeah. Like it's hard out here, and parking's a nightmare in LA. So like, shop online more. It's a little easier, but even so, I just
again, walking is cardio. So I don't understand why people be so upset. Like you do walk. That's the thing. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't mention it earlier, but Samantha does suggest to Carrie that she show up to Aidan's store wearing the fake nipples to get his attention.
I think he would have been turned off by that personally.
I don't think that. No, that's not how he works.
Yeah, he would have been like, why is this happening?
He's like, why are you here?
And why are your nipples hard?
So Carrie tries to write the email to Aidan. First, it's like super long, and then it's like just a simple "I miss you." And here's
do you miss me?
Do you miss me? No, she finally just deleted that. I think all she sent was "I miss you."
Yeah.
And even so,
weak sauce. Come on, lady, step your fucking game up.
Yeah. But as a chronic overwriter, though, I kind of get you gotta edit.
Yo, I'm fine with the editing. Like, like don't send me a fucking whole page, but like,
because I'm sure that shit was filled with like justifications as to why she had to fuck big and all this other stuff. It's probably brevity is the soul of wit. It's best to, sometimes the economy of words is a good thing.
I mean, especially as a writer.
Yeah. So Carrie's frustrated. She hasn't heard back from Aidan because it's been 14 hours. Girl, you're killing me.
Yeah, in this time period, 14 hours is like not that long to wait for an email back because nobody's really checking email on.
Yeah.
Like yes, if this is 2022, I can understand you freaking out.
I responded to someone's fucking work text last night. My boss was like, "Don't do that."
Right. I was like,
sorry.
You get it immediately, but like this is 2001, 2002. Like this is nobody was checking email like that unless you like were in a business office. But like
and signing on is like
called at this time.
Yeah, signing on was a whole ordeal. And
it took 20 minutes to sign on.
Yeah, you just didn't. You didn't like. Yeah, you were not as plugged in as like now, where I'm like, I picked up a assignment for my like side hustle thing, and I was like. I saw it come through. I was like, oh, I should respond. I was like, you need to like hold for 5 minutes. They don't need to know that you're this available.
Right. Yeah. Like,
I do that a lot where I like write back too fast. And I'm like, sometimes it's good to be a little like, I'm not available right now.
Business wise, I prefer somebody to get back to me quickly. But
right.
Relationship wise, like it's a little weird. Like don't text me back immediately after I text you. That's weird. Like give me like 2 minutes. Like at least wait 2 minutes. Just wait 2 minutes and then text me back.
Yeah.
I can wait 2 minutes.
Carrie's still hung up on it. It's 36 hours later now, and she's still frustrated. Yes. And so she decides to call him, and she's like, hey, why haven't you gotten back to my email? And he's like, I got it and deleted it because I didn't know the address it was from.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, he's like, I get a lot of like weird.
I get a lot of junk mail.
Junk mail, yeah. Like everybody was getting a lot of junk mail.
Yeah.
I mean, we still get a lot of junk mail this time. Like,
and they were using AOL, and so at the time with AOL, it was not like people were not using it as like a business email by any stretch. So people
personal.
It was all personal. So people had goofy fucking names. So hers is like Shoe Gal, which makes sense.
Like makes sense for her, but like think of somebody like Aidan. You think he's gonna like think like, oh, this is Carrie? Like, no, he's like Shoe Gal. Delete that shit. I don't know nobody.
Or like instant messenger. Like my friend was joking. She's like, oh my god, my instant messenger name was like Surf Girl XOXO, and she's like, I've never surfed in my fucking life. It was just a weird time for everybody.
I cannot remember my fucking screen name from that time at all.
I had the very first one I picked. I'm kind of bad at like naming things for myself if I'm put on the spot. Like I'm weird. Like I'm quick with a lot of other shit, but for some reason that my brain short circuits. So my dad I remember this to this day. My dad was setting up our AOL, and I had just been watching the first Mission Impossible, just to date myself real good here.
As young time.
And he was saying, he was in the movie, he says like Bravo, Echo, something or other. And I liked the code name sound. So when my dad called me into the little office room, he was like, hey, what do you want your email to be? And I rattled off like Echo, Bravo, something or other. And like, it was meant to be a Mission Impossible thing, but I still didn't even get it right. Of all the things I like, Mission Impossible is actually really far down the list. It could have been cats.
Oh man,
sea otters. Because I was a child. Horses. Literally, just about anything else in the world I could have picked ahead of that. And my little brain just went, this thing.
I bet that was fun to explain to everybody when they asked you what your like what was behind.
Eventually, people stopped asking, and that one we got locked out of or died. It got fucked up somehow. And I also, oh my god, okay, we're gonna really date myself, but this is such a funny story to tell. Okay, quick digression. I promise we'll get back, but this is too good. So, when chat rooms were big, and I was in a chat room, I was talking to somebody, and then they emailed me a chain letter thing on an all black background with red writing, and it was this long story. It's this urban legend story that has been around forever, whatever. But this long story is, girl is home alone and she hears a weird noise and she has her dog lick her hand for comfort, but then she couldn't get like something to lock in her house, right? But anyway, she's got the dog for comfort. It licks her hand, and then she keeps hearing a weird like dripping noise, and she sticks her hand down for the dog to lick it for comfort, and it keeps doing that. And then she finally gets up and goes to the bathroom, and hanging in the bathroom is the dead dog with its blood dripping down, and the serial killer's written people could lick hands too. And then she gets murdered, and then you're supposed to forward it on. I received that email whilst I was home alone in our little office room.
Fun.
Sent into utter panic, full on freak out. I called my grandma, who did not and never did have a computer email, and she did have the brilliant thought to try to print it out as like evidence. And she's like, there's no one around, you're fine. Because I think I couldn't get a hold of my mom at work or my dad at work. Because my dad was living in DC at the time, and it was a whole thing. So I think I finally got a hold of my mom. She was like, well, your brother's coming home soon. It's okay. Like, you're okay. Make sure everything's locked. They can't probably get you. You're fine,
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
She talked me off the ledge a little, but I remember I went and sat on the couch with our two cats, basically be like, you guys aren't going anywhere. I don't give a shit. You guys are going to hang out with me. And my brother came home. He thought it was hilarious because he's an older brother, and didn't fully take my panic seriously, and helped calm me down a little more. And I was finally okay, and went to bed. And then he told me sometime later there was a fake voodoo doll thing you could send to people anonymously, and he wanted to do it, and then he was like, oh wait, but you panicked so bad about the chainmail thing, that I was like, I better not.
Oh my god, chainmail.
So yeah, chain letter thing from the anonymous people are like, oh, it's probably a pervert. I'm like, I genuinely think it was another teenager who just sent it, because that's typical. But
yeah,
oh my god. So Carrie doesn't do that to Aidan.
Which would have been hilarious if she did.
By
accident, she did send him a chainmail by accident.
Chain letter. Oh my god. So anyway, he asks her what the email says, and she was like, oh, nothing. And then she's like, why don't we all hang out? You, me, Steve, and Miranda is a fun group thing. And he agrees, and she's kind of confused, he's kind of confused, but they do it anyway.
Well, it was actually funny. I'm surprised he agreed to it, because literally the entire phone call, he seemed annoyed by her.
Annoyed and distracted.
Yeah, he was just he's like, why are you calling? Why are we talking? We broke up a long time ago. You came to my fucking bar opening, even though I didn't invite you. What? Yeah. Although he was flirting with her a little bit. I think
you don't feed someone cake like that and not be flirting.
Yeah, I mean, he was flirting, but not in a way. Or at least I thought he was doing it to get a little revenge, just torture her a little bit. But
maybe
come to find out. Anyway, keep moving.
Yeah. So they have she gets Miranda to come with her as her airbag. And she's like, and Steve's gonna be Aidan's airbag. And then Carrie is at it, and she's telling some random story, and she is just overdoing it, nervous, fast talking and overselling it. And she, at one point, Aidan puts his hand on hers, and then the boys go to the bathroom together, and Miranda's like, you can leave. You can get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna get some dick tonight. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here. Take Steve with you. Take Steve with you. And I gotta say, Miranda's a good friend, because she does, and Carrie, I'm like, Carrie owes her so big. So Carrie walks Aidan home and blurts out that she wants to get back together. And he literally says, oh fuck.
Oh fuck. Yo, listen, I've tried a few times in my life to try to get back with an ex, and I'm gonna tell you something. None of them ever said "oh fuck." If any of them ever said "oh fuck," I'd have ran the opposite direction. Like if you're trying to get back with somebody and you say, "oh, I miss you, and I want to get back together," and they say "oh fuck,", you got to get out of there.
Not good.
Fuck. It's not good. That's no percentage of good. If they're like, "oh fuck yeah," then you're good. But he just said "oh fuck," like, oh shit, I knew this was good. Like he knew it was coming. Like he something new, like he knew in his brain like this wasn't just a hangout as friends. Like he knew that she wanted to get back, which also makes me think that he might have read the email. Just saying.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like he said he deleted it, but like I think he definitely read it
or he went back and read it after the phone.
Yeah. He probably went to his trash and read it. Mm-hmm.
That's where she belongs. Anyway.
You sound like me. Got a little Carrie hate in you.
Oh, I've never been all that pro Carrie.
No, there's nothing pro about her.
No, but so he's like, I was willing to try the friendship thing. He's like, but I don't think I could do a relationship thing with you. And she's like, but you put your hand on mine at dinner. He's like, yeah, it's because you were like super, just trying to make you comfortable because you wouldn't stop talking.
Yeah, it's like, because you could tell when they opened to the scene that clearly she was the one doing all the talking, like the entire time of the meal. Like she probably never shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was nervous energy, but also she's a narcissist. But
and he kind of gives her like a sort of half kiss, and she kind of dodges it, but like she still takes it, and then they kind of part ways. And then Carrie's trying to get a hold of Miranda. They finally connect. And Miranda's like, Steve tried to kiss me, and Carrie does not give a shit. She just tells her all about Aidan, and then Carrie sees that Aidan is online on her little AOL buddy list. And then she's like, oh my God, can he see me? And I wrote, no, but the government can.
Right. They got you, bitch.
They
weren't tracking.
They're watching this right now.
They weren't tracking at that time.
No, that's true. This is
pre 9/11, right?
Pre 9/11, they weren't tracking, but now they for sure are. Hi, FBI agent.
It's cracking, baby.
How you doing?
Come see me.
One of my favorite memes I've seen about the FBI agent thing is like someone saying like goodbye to their boyfriend and then turning to the laptop and being like, he's acting weird, right? And the FBI agent going, totally.
That's awesome.
So then Carrie's like, I'm gonna go over there. Miranda's like, pace yourself.
Yo, yeah, girl is lunching, bro. Like she is hooked. She's literally acting like a drug addict because like
seriously.
Because she even said it. She's like, yeah, when guys do it in movies, it's a romantic gesture, and then when girls do it, it's like crazy town. It's like, no, it's crazy both. I'm sorry.
It's crazy both ways.
It's crazy both ways. Like, I'm sorry, because like let me tell you something, because like even like unless you're in a relationship with somebody, the unannounced drop by, never okay. Never okay. Sorry. Like you gotta call me, you gotta text me, you gotta say something. Like it's not a romantic gesture. Like all the shit they show you in the movies where somebody shows up with like flowers or like
throwing the pebbles
like a big
out the window
and like that. No.
So she shows up with the rocks and stuff like that, and he looks alarmed. I have to say it.
Yes, because like there was no indication of why she should be there. He didn't call her. He didn't tell her. Like they ended in like this weird, awkward half, like you said, the half kiss kind of thing. Yeah. And so why would she be there? What would possess her to show up at his door?
He told her, I don't want a relationship. What on earth would make her want to come running back?
Right.
And then she's like, I still feel like there's something between us. And he's like, yeah, I had a nice time, but I want to leave it at that. She's like, can I come up? And he's like, nah, it's not a good time. And she's like, because you're worried what's gonna happen? He's like, no. And she's like, things are different, and and going on and on. And then he finally yells, you broke my heart, at her. And then she runs away. And I was like, yeah. What did you think cheating on him like that was gonna do?
Yeah.
How on earth did she think any of that was ever gonna like fly and be forgivable? Like
because like it's like it was his worst fear come to life, because Big kept showing up periodically in their relationship at things and like basically making it pretty apparent that he still had feelings for Carrie, and then you go and fuck the guy that like already kind of made him feel a little bit insecure about you and his relationship. Like you literally like brought his worst fear to life. Like he had that in the back of his mind, like, oh, she might still have feelings for him, and then you fuck the guy. Yeah, dude.
Well, and a married guy at that, and that's like a heartbreaking situation, and it's just insane to me that she's like, there's still something, because there is something there in the sense that he did like her, maybe even love her, quite a bit. But yeah, like all that's gone the second you cheat on him like that.
In theory, I mean, it's probably still a little bit there, but like he can't.
Well, it's definitely still there.
Give into it,
but like yeah, exactly. He's not gonna want to open up that again because it's a pretty deep wound.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is like coming back to an ex like that. Like when you break somebody's heart that way, like how do you even think that you can come back?
Yeah.
That's where I don't get this character. Like she's clearly a fucking narcissist to the point, like, and you think that after what you did, there's still a chance that you and him could be together.
Yeah. But it happens because Carrie can't sleep, and then she hears rocks being thrown at her window, and it's Aidan, and they just share a look and a nod, and he comes running up the stairs, and it's like slow-mo, and we get the nice shot of her robe being all flowy, which I thought was fun because I'm a sucker for that shit. Give me a flowy robe, let me run
very cinematic.
Let me run through a mansion in a flowy robe. I was just before we started on our work chat, my boss was like, "Oh, the Bridgerton ball's happening." I was like, "I know. I want to go. Can I go for work? Someone pay me to go. I want to go. I want to go to the Bridgerton ball."
Should be able to. That's
a bunch of my friends went without me.
Oof.
And I'm not. Well, one of them's a married couple, so like I get it. Right. But then other friends went without me, and I was like, but that's like a separate friend group, so like I get it, but I'm not okay with it. Bit. Yeah, it's still like, guys, I fucking love this shit. I love it so goddamn much. You get gloves and a tiara and shit. I want to go so bad. Anyway, I want to run through like a garden in that kind of dress, a mansion in a flowy robe, and then once I would like to walk down a set of stairs in one of those robes that are basically they kind of call them the like, "No, officer, I didn't murder my husband" robe, where it's like flowy.
The Lifetime original robe.
It's like all fur trimmed or faux fur now, fur trimmed and flowy and gauzy, and you're like, oh heavens, whatever happened on the boat? Yeah. Oh my, I wasn't there. I was here in the manse all day.
I call that the Sunset Boulevard.
Exactly. Road. Yeah. Yes. I want to do that. Yeah. I would like to dramatically run somewhere in some kind of flowing garment.
I'm not mad at that.
Nothing wrong with it. I saw a TikTok from like a bridal shop where they were rating the like dramatic runaway ability of the different gowns they had. Where like, do you have to hold both hands? Do you have to use both hands to hold it while you're running? Can you do one so you can have a free hand for doors and shit? It was really, really funny.
Hilarious.
But anyway, we get the flowy robe moment, and they
go ahead, continue.
And they do it, and he gets up, and he's like, "Did you do this to kind of make up for the past?" And
that's what I feel like. I feel like that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I truly, but I don't, because that's my thing. It's like, first I was like, "No, Aidan, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you here?" And then, but when he asked that question, it kind of gave me a little bit of relief because I'm like, all right, he's still like, yes, he had sex, like, but that's just like guy shit, like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, I still don't know if he's like doing this because he actually wants to be with her or like he's low-key trying to get some revenge.
Yeah, because he says he's like, I mentally kicked your butt all over Manhattan,
but mental ain't enough for they have an actual reality. Okay, like we fantasize about telling people off all the time, but to actually get to tell them off, and they just like, it's something more cathartic about that.
The number of one-way arguments in my car and or shower,
right,
is absurd.
Right. Yeah, but to actually have like to get that tell off and then like and to have it go your way and then not like have no rebuttals to it.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother level. So I don't know if he's because he's asking that, and like I kind of think that's what part of it is with her. It's like she feels guilty for how she did him because like literally he was. I mean, I know there's no such thing as, but like in this case, he was kind of the perfect guy, and she was like, I can't handle this. I'm gonna go back to toxicity because I'm toxic myself.
Yeah, and I like that they try to make him slightly less perfect by being like, he's too granola for you, but it's like, I don't know, opposites attract.
That's what you need. Yeah, that's what you need. Yeah. Also, it really hurts to see this because it's like, because I know who she ends up with, I know that she's gonna hurt this guy again. And so I'm like, Aidan, what are you doing? Like, this It's only hurt.
The episode where it happens is an all-timer. Oh my god, you're not ready. I don't think you're ready.
I'm not.
But he's
Is it in this season?
Yes. Yeah.
Fuck.
But we do wrap it up with him saying he still needs to think it, because she's like, I still love you and I wish I could be your girlfriend again. And he's like, I don't know. And she's kind of left wondering about the situation. But then, still no email back from him. I'm like, I don't know why she's expecting an email after she's already talked about the one email she sent. They've gone out, they fucked, and they like have talked. He doesn't need to send you an email. I don't know why she's like so obsessed with this goddamn email.
Also, he's not the kind of guy that probably uses email. Like,
he's not a big email guy.
If you know him and love him enough, you should know that like he probably checks his email once a week.
Yeah, especially in this era.
This era, you know what I'm saying? I mean, hell, even if this was 2022, he probably still be the only guy like checking like once a week. You know what I'm saying? Like that's he's just that kind of person. Like he's one of those people who like barely use their phone, which I don't understand how people can do that. I respect it. I wish I could do it. Like, but people who like check, like Instagram like once every 3 months, I'm like, how do you do it? How do you do it?
I don't even know.
How do you do it? I know I have people that like haven't posted anything in 6 months. I'm like, 6 months? You got a life that good?
Right?
you ain't posted in 6 months? Your life is that awesome? Fuck. Show me how.
But he shows up on the street again with the dog, and he's like, let's try this. And she's like, do you want to come up? He's like, no, let's go on a walk, because he's got the dog. And so she goes, okay, I'll go on a walk with you, and races to get ready to go out the door. And that's the end of the episode.
My man Aidan, bro. I already know how this is for him, and I really was hoping that like, it was gonna be like some weird plot twist where he was just doing this to get back at her, like fuck her one more time, and then just be like this, like send her into like a confusion spiral, you know what I mean? And then just be out. But he's
not that kind of guy.
I know. He's too good of a. Yeah, I know. Because if this had been big, he would have done that.
Yeah,
he could have done that. Or he wouldn't do it to Carrie because like he does care about her in some fucked up way. But he is capable of doing this, and Aidan is not. And I was like, God damn it, I thought he would get a bit more gangster after this. You know what I'm saying? Like you own a bar and a woodworking shop. Like, come on, baby.
No.
Too good for this bitch. You gotta be gangster. That's the only thing. Because here's the thing too. That's the only thing that she would understand is that kind of treatment.
Yeah.
That'd probably be the only thing that would make her leave him alone. God damn it. God damn it, Aidan. I thought you were better than this.
We were rooting for you. I was rooting for you.
I was rooting for you. We were all rooting for you.
I've never yelled at a guy like this in my life.
Fucking Tyra Banks.
When I yell at him, it means I love him and I want him to learn from this. Oh, that torture factory of a show. My God.
Oh boy, Tyra Banks. Anyway, tell the people where they can find us, Elizabeth.
Well, they can find us most easily on Instagram if you regularly go to Instagram at Show Me What Podcast. And then they'll take you to our Twitter, our Facebook, our YouTube, all the fun stuff like that. And you can find me at Elizabeth Movies on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Chris, where can they find you?
You can find me on all social media at Christopher T. Mack on everything, TikTok, fucking Squarespace. No, I don't know Squarespace. I do have a website, but it ain't launched yet, so it'll be there on Squarespace. But all the social media, Christopher T. Mack, that's everything.
And as always, don't forget the Arlo Australia candles, reed diffusers, wax melts, bath bombs now? Bath bombs. Love them. And that's it for the show. And we'll see you again next week.